New user, I'm loving it. It's saving me so much time. Founder, but social media, not my jam as a millennial. My mentor said, you've got to make it your jam. I did it like I started it 20 minutes ago, filmed it, edited it, and now I'm just adding the subtitle. Very efficient.
Very first thing that you want to do is put this at 1.5x.
I was using, what was I using before? Instagram, just the reels, like in the program, trying to cut. It was nightmare. I've used TikTok, nightmare. And I've made 2 videos and my second one's already incrementally better. Then I went on YouTube and I saw a girl. I was looking on how to do LinkedIn videos,
Vendi, Steinberger.
So I went and I immediately bought both the programs she used. It was a really good video. And please don't raise your prices right now because I'm a baby founder, but it's a very good value proposition for, I don't know why people wouldn't, cheap, I guess, or stupid.
Yeah. Welcome to TimeBolt Office Hours on Thursday, January 16th, 2025. You are live at Doug and Quinson. We're here to answer questions, check your workflows, and generally just make sure that you get the best out of TimeBolt. I do want to just go ahead and jump right in any type of customer questions this morning. I know that iPhone Pro 13 Max was first on the line. How you doing?
New user, and I'm loving it. It's saving me so much time. Just wanted to see what the call's about.
Okay, great. What type? And I'll then ask Gabriel, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Yes. Are you a longtime user at TimeBolt, newer user at TimeBolt?
No, I'm a new user and I don't have I played with it a bit and I really got a bit hard time with it. I didn't understand the logic so much. I understood it's cutting some minutes or seconds from videos and that's it.
Okay. Miss Pro Max, what's your name?
It's Somi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for choosing TimeBolt. What type of content do you create?
Well, I'm a founder, but previously, a lot of my style is coaching, facilitating, but IRL. Social media, not my jam as a millennial. My mentor said, you've got to make it your jam. Business, coaching. I'm just finishing up a video about the TikTok Go Dark Sunday. I did it I started it 20 minutes ago, filmed it, edited it, and now I'm just adding the subtitle. Very efficient.
Great. Is this vertical video, I take it?
Exactly.
Okay, it's vertical video. Let me find that workflow here. And I'll throw that in TimeBolt, see if we can help streamline things for you a little bit. Gabriel will be answering questions as we kind of go along here as well. And we'll see. Where were your issues? Did you say you had some type of friction that was happening?
I'm uploading the video as I do it now, and then I see down there some red and green lines for cutting the video, right? And then create split, and nothing happens. Maybe I'm on the free license at the moment.
This is what your raw timeline is going to look like. The first thing that you want to do when you go into TimeBolt is make sure that your settings are correct. And you just do that by going through and if it's your first time using TimeBolt, chances are you're going to have something kind of off with your microphone. Audio hasn't always been important until you probably dropped it into TimeBolt and really saw what your waveform looks like. But most of the time, it's going to look great. And TimeBolt will automatically calculate your filter below sound levels. As I look through here, I don't see any beginnings of words cut off or ends of words, right? This looks like a good timeline. If there was something let's say this came back at 30 dB, just see this right here? This is an end of a word getting cut off. Obviously, you wouldn't want this. You're okay, a lot of people come in, they're hey, maybe I need to adjust the left and right padding to increase the size of what's being cut. Red is what is cut, green is what is kept, okay? And what happens is I've got these words getting cut off. I don't use the padding. I test between -30 to -42 dB, okay? This is your filter below sound level. What I would do is put this at -35 dB, all right, just to start kind of in the middle. And we're going to, as you can see these words right here, let's see what happens. Now, all of that is not cut, and it just only detects silence. Again, -30 to -42 dB is the range that you want to test your filter below sound level. Once you get that right, just leave these alone for right now, okay? These are you rarely ever need to touch these settings, and I'll explain to you what they do, but 0.01 and 0.15, if you end up getting your settings all screwy or something's messed up, just hit reset to default values and then hit update silence detection settings to implement the changes. When you're editing, the very first thing that you want to do is put this at 1.5x. Okay, you never want to, there's no point in ever editing a video at 1x speed. What happens is when I put this at 1.5x, I hit spacebar, okay?
Be asked to record a video and explain yourself. If it's not talking to a camera for YouTube, it's a project at work, or even
see, as soon as I hit spacebar, it defaults to the preview playback to 1.5x speed. You can also do 2x if you like, right? Just depends on if it's scripted or unscripted.
video for class. And everyone's first thought, how do I not?
When you're looking at this, it may feel oh my God, what do I do here? You start going around kind of clicking buttons, right? So if I want to turn this segment off, I could go up here and then turn this off. And see, this is the thing. There is no point in going slow. What I'm saying and what our guarantee is that if you learn these keys that I'm about to show you, you're going to edit video faster than any editor on planet Earth. It doesn't matter if they've been in it for 10 years inside Final Cut or Premiere or some other software, okay? And I hate learning new stuff, but it's the keys USOB. Okay. And I'm not calling you that. You just literally have to get in and click it, right? What happens is we put U up front because it kind of makes sense. USOB, it's kind of slang in English, but you unwind. I'm just going to press some buttons so you can see what they do. So I hit spacebar. I never hit this thing. Don't ever touch this. Okay. Just hit spacebar to start the playhead. U is what's going to happen is, have you ever gotten through a bunch of edits and then you like want to go back, right? I hit U for unwind.
How do I not look foolish? Like photographs, 35% take. If it's not talking to a camera,
that allows me to go back 3 cuts, right? You don't have to, if you're like deep into a timeline, as you're going through, like, what now? Did this all just flow correctly after I cut it up? You don't have to stop and then go back and then do this, right? You're just going through.
Like photographs, 35% takes are no good. Your options are beat yourself up again, and everyone's first thought, how do I not look foolish? Like photographs.
That's what U does. S. Does anybody know what S
How
does?
do you jump? What was the shortcut? The second shortcut, except the space?
These are keys. You press the keys. USOB. And in English, it means you son of a bitch. Okay. Derogatory to where I can remember it. It's like our attempt at marketing or my attempt at marketing. USOB. You literally just press these keys, right? Okay. It's not going to feel natural at first. Then watch. Imagine. What do you think S does? S splits the playhead. Let's say I want to cut the middle of a sentence out or something, right? I hit S. Watch what happens. See that little mark right there? We're not talking about, there's no fireworks that are going to go off. There's no whiz bang. It happens fast because it really is fast in real life. Split there.
35% takes.
Let's say I want to cut that out. I hit S. I didn't go here and I didn't do create split and push a button. I literally hit the keys. And now if I want to turn this scene off behind it, or I hit B for back cut. Okay, watch this. B. I hit S and then B. If I wanted to undo that, I hit Command Z, just like any other deal. And if I want to turn the front off, I hit O, okay, for off. Check this out. It'll cut the one right up ahead. Boom. So it's not like I had to.
Your options are beat yourself up in editing software.
I didn't have to go in and be like S, and I'm using I can use the arrow keys if I want to come over here and hit S. Okay, I didn't have to come up here and do this and click that. I hit B, right? So that back cut that. The B key is probably one of the most used keys I've ever used. Okay, B is for back cut and O turns it off. USOB.
You pressed S, it marked the S somewhere on the timeline.
Right here.
And then you press B from where to where it's going to cut it.
Do you see what's happening when I hit S? Do you see it? Look, S. You see that? So it split the timeline. So this is no longer one long timeline, it's 2, right? If I want to turn off what's coming up, I hit O. Look, I can cut off wide swaths of content this way. I hit Command Z to undo these things, okay, just like normal. And then so with the B key, imagine you're going through and imagine I don't want to keep this section, right? Well, typically, if you don't know about B, you'd have to go.
Video for class. And everyone's first thought, how do I not?
Oh, wait, I just thought that I don't want to keep that, right? Like now all of a sudden I have to stop the playhead, then go back and do this. Right. Well, what I'm saying is I'm not even going to stop the playhead. Here, I'll just put it 1.5 so you guys can see it happening. Okay. I'm not even going to stop the playhead. I'm like
making a video for class. And everyone's first thought, how do I not look foolish? Like photographs.
That worked for me. And I love the app. Or not the app, but the program. I bought it right off the bat because I saw it worked for somebody else. I'm convinced. I just want to say thank you. And the silence editor, that was really helpful today. Thank you.
Before you jump off, like, you already understood those keys and stuff like that? I do have some things that I can show you that'll speed up your workflow though.
This was like super quick. Like I did the video this morning. I don't even edit anything in it. I'm happy with it, with just the way you guys do it.
The P key, you can punch in, punch out. Like that's important with social.
How you do the zoom in, zoom out?
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, we'll watch. I like it kind of chopped up, but let's see.
Totally. When you're going through.
Video for class. Like photograph.
Punch in. Okay, I'm hitting the P key. Do you see what's happening? Okay.
Oh, to zoom in. Oh, interesting.
I promise. I got some cool stuff I'm going to show you. I haven't got to my workflow tutorial on like the vertical video, but there's some cool things that I can show you real quick. You hit punch, you hit P for punch. Just what I can do is you could go right click and then go punch in 50% and go to the bottom right, okay, or anywhere on the screen. Right. But instead, what I do is you hit P and I can hit Alt Option into my arrow keys. So I can move around. And then what's cool is for like social, I can then go, what's cool is I'm going through.
Like photograph.
I know I want to do center 125.
Your options are beat yourself up in editing software.
Look at that. I don't even have to stop the playhead. Okay. I don't even have to stop the playhead. I can hit P and it remembers what the previous punch values were. Right. Like if you have like scenes cut up between multiple. it'll remember the previous punch values. And then to reset,
How you mark the beginning of the zoom in and the end of the zoom in?
there is no
It's the
beginning
green
or end.
clip.
It's the cut.
The green clip. The green clip is
Okay, the
one.
green.
It's the cut, like the cut jumps, right? There is no mark in, mark out. This is like literally what we're talking about is edit faster than you can record, right? So you've got punch. Now, the other thing that there's two other features that I think work well with social video. You can go down here and hit fast forward silences, and you can, I don't really do any automations. You can either slow it down like by putting it like 0.5x, or you can speed it up to 4x. Let's say that you're in the middle, like you demonstrate something as a coach, or you're showing somebody where your goal is to show, not tell. This is the only time you kind of go up here and you can turn this to orange. When I turn this to orange, that's going to make it to where it's going to be sped up by 4x. And you can make it to where you don't even have to like remove the audio, right? You don't have like an interruption in audio, but you can, if you like, you can hit mute if that's what you like to do. If you're also, that's fast forward. Vertical is very easy. The other tool that I use with vertical is you can add background audio, right? You got simple cuts, simple punch values. It sounds like exactly like how you make it to me. And then you can add, I could select an audio file. It's something with my computer, but I can find an audio value, search that up, and just put it basically at like 30% of the background audio. And it just adds, it'll do a looping background audio. It doesn't matter if your vertical video is 3.5 minutes and your audio is 1 minute. It'll just loop that nice, and it's a seamless experience. Okay. It sounds great. Now, when you go to export, that's where vertical video differs from like other types of video. If you're doing unscripted content, okay, like if it's not scripted, you're naturally going to be searching for words and not scripted video. And who doesn't want to talk 12% faster when they're really searching for words over time? And you're able to put this at 1.125x. That means that your rate of speech is going to be increased by like 12%. Okay. And you don't sound like a chipmunk. It just sounds better. Scripted video, I found there's no need for turbo. Now, did you see where I hit turbo mode? Right here. Well, I hit that. What you're going to do, Somi, is you're going to click these 3 buttons after you add your turbo. And I'll tell you what, this video right here, if you look at it, okay, the output duration is 1 minute and 8 seconds right here. You can see, well, what happens if you have to get that thing within a minute to make a short, right? Or to like hit a certain time constraint for your vertical. I go to turbo mode. I form this. I say, I want this to fit within 60 seconds. What this does in turbo mode, it actually speeds up the entire video. As it's rendering, it's all baked in. Now whatever you drop into CapCut, or if you do something like that, it'll break it down into 60 seconds. It sounds like you just...
No, it's perfect. I think it's a great program. Remember, it's great. I love it.
If you decide to edit more video, if you decide to edit further than this, what you're going to do is hit export clips to a folder. Okay. I don't like for the CapCut. Once you do this, you just name a folder, something like, I'll just do a new here. All this is going to do is it'll go in and take all of the cuts that were already made. It'll actually render each cut as its own individual video and put it into a folder. Now, when you open up CapCut, okay, you have a folder of clips that you just drop into CapCut that are already all cut up. It becomes super easy to add captions, add transitions, drop in any effects, because you have a bunch of clips that you dropped in that are already cut, that have all the speed and punch values baked in if you wanted to. If not, you just hit export video and you'll have your single video like you do with TimeBolt.
Thank you. This was super cool.
Absolutely. And our goal is we've got a Swiss Army knife of workflows. Like this is what it looks like. Each one of these is own clip now. And when you drop this into CapCut, it just drops them all in sequential order. Each cut is properly placed. And that's only if you want to do more inside CapCut. Because
what is the scenario, the CapCut afterwards? What is the extra work that has to be after this kind of cuts?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
No, you talked about furthermore work on CapCut. I didn't understand what is the next level of it.
Do you edit in CapCut already?
I'll do it.
All you're going to do, create project, import. Where the hell did I just put that?
Documents.
You see all these? You've exported these out of TimeBolt. I just select them all, hit import, okay? And then I literally just drag them all, boom. Now, as you can see, your video is now the minute long that you were looking for, not 1 minute and 8 seconds. You didn't have to remove anything important, and everything is just sped up.
To record a video and explain yourself. If it's not talking to a camera for YouTube, it's...
And she doesn't sound like a chipmunk, right? Like she's able to meet that time constraint. And within this, all you're doing is going in and adding the audio. You just generate the captions. I think you get like 6 or 8 or something like that free. Even the captions are all cut up, synced up with the video. It becomes really simple to go in and say, okay, I want to add some transitions. They're super easy to drop in now that they're all freaking, cut up.
the final editing.
So it's just then it just becomes super easy to just add your captions and go with it. That the actual like what TimeBolt does, like with cutting this content up, that's what CapCut is like in a paid pro version, because then you start editing by text, but you have all the problems of editing by text. It's essentially AI guessing not only what the word is, but where it's placed at a certain point in time. And that's why the people that are using AI that don't know about TimeBolt, they're spending 2 to 3 times longer fixing the mistakes, going back and trying to get AI to work that way rather than just getting the timeline cut up. There's nothing more accurate than sound wave detection. The last thing you may use, if it's unscripted video, is check. I don't know if you've tried that. You get 3 different trials with this. There's no ums and ahs inside this video, but literally you just hit start audio transcription. You'll get 3 free trials. Like if you got I don't know if you're doing like any longer Zoom calls or maybe a customer interview that you do and it's longer and it's more important, you can go in, you got a 10-minute customer interview, you can go in and just run a check, and I'll show you what it does. Is that you can check for ums, ahs, any unique word, tick, phrase. And because the processing happens local on TimeBolt, that you can add your own unique word, tick, phrases. Like if you're like the author of like who gives a F or something like that, you can type in the shit part or whatever, and you can make your stuff PG 75% of the time. It works every time.
Cool. That's great. Thanks.
Like I was saying before, TimeBolt is really the Swiss Army knife of workflows. And it comes down to, we all kind of edit the same way, kind of get to that rough cut, the A-roll cut the same way, but it's really how you export is where all the different workflows come into play. As you can see, it'll do run false start detection, because I kind of stutter. When people stutter, when they say the same thing twice, it'll go in and look for those word repeats and also remove those. We catch, even though we're not in a text-based editor, we catch 50% more filler content than our competitors. All of the check comes pre-populated with as many word choice combinations as we could think of. You can add your own simply by typing it in. You just hit turn off selected words and there it works.
That's cool. And that's 3, is that 3, like, what's the frame of, like, when does that reset?
It doesn't, you can buy check credits.
Okay.
That's the only part, that's the only part that really costs money, besides obviously the subscription.
How much are the credits?
It's 50 cents for every 10 minutes. You don't need this for every piece of content, right? I only use it for these Zoom calls, right? These Zoom calls are incredible. And I'll cut out just an unscripted conversation. It's 10 to 15% of a timeline is nothing but ums, ahs, and fillers. And what's funny is you can basically come down here and do flip timeline if you ever want to know like what you're actually cutting out, and you can just go down and play the reverse of it. Right.
That was cool. Insightful.
If you think about TimeBolt, it's really this ability to go from one long timeline. This is a short vertical. It isn't like super complicated, but go from one long timeline down to a video for YouTube and a video for shorts. We have additional features like markers. If you're doing longer form content, like I can mark key scenes and then consolidate those scenes down. That when I go to export now, imagine if I had an hour-long Zoom video, what I do is sometimes I go in and I take out like the most important pieces. If you're at work and you need something seen by a job, or you need it's good marketing material. Imagine you're interviewing somebody for your coaching class, and they had a couple insightful pieces, something that would really resonate, but it's in an hour-long Zoom, and you're like, how do I get somebody to watch this 35-minute Zoom that's all cut up with TimeBolt? Well, you do like what we do, what all the YouTubers do, and you go in and you mark those key scenes as you're editing on the first pass. You mark those key scenes. And then at the end of by the time you get done editing, you can consolidate those cuts. Now with the markers, keep only marked cuts. And now it will just play what those markers are.
If it's not talking to a camera for YouTube, it's a project at work, or even 10th graders making video for class, like photographs. But you want something other than that, right? If it's not talking,
you can punch in and do all that kind of stuff. Now, what you can do is you can say, add background audio. You give it some background audio. Okay, at 35% volume. I'm going to show you what I can do with that in just a second. And then you hit export video, you export that. What you end up with is something like this. 24-year live with Doug and Quinston in our
have served our country, either first responders or veterans. We also honor them with this memorial. In my experience is iMovie. The more we could do with telling people's story, the better it is for our success. Cut out what we don't want and then hand it back and say, okay, now edit this. That way we reduce our expense. That's great. Your JSON file essentially has all your directions. I'm impressed that you guys had this without turning your voice into chipmunk.
Welcome to Time. That's an example of creating a coming up teaser, which the ultimate FOMO tool. It's why you have movie teasers and stuff like that, right? That is kind of like that's a little bit more advanced, but it's really not. To be able to put those things together, okay, we have a thing called Stitch that once I rendered that short video with the background audio, I put it in here, okay, and with something like this, I would essentially save my timeline, okay, It saves as a JSON. It just saves as a simple lightweight text file. And the goal is not to have to render a bunch, right? Because rendering takes time. I would add my first clip in, and then I would add my other clip and apply the JSON file to it. We have a video that explains that, and I'm working on specific workflows so you can see how it all is put together. It's not just one way to communicate with video. Imagine you're making content, right? And instead of, maybe you don't want to write a 5-paragraph email. This is a hidden gem right here. You've got to give creative feedback. You've got to give some other type of feedback.
That's cool.
What we have here is an actual recorder, and you can actually change, like you just open up the record button. You can actually change it. It's really nice because you can fit this as a little small thumbnail or like go half screen. And I have to get in the middle of my go half screen. It's a super handy freaking recorder. And I can
you can record yourself with your webcam?
Yes, sir.
What did you press for recording?
It is this button right here.
Okay.
Capture, screen capture. With screen capture, I can, I don't know if you guys are on Macs or whatnot, but on Mac, I can say, are you in a Mac, Somi? This was nice about on a Mac. Sometimes you just want to send a quick video message. You don't need a 10 gigabit file to send a friend, or like, have you ever heard of Loom before? Have you ever heard of Loom? Okay, Loom, but doesn't suck to watch. Okay, that's like no one gets excited about being sent a 10-minute unedited video message. It may have saved you time from writing a 5-paragraph email, but then you've got like that person has to sit there through 10 minutes of video when it should take 7 and no expectation to respond, right? You want to make something you'd watch yourself. I hit standard quick quality. I operate like this all the time with Quinston. We're talking about support tickets or I'm giving creative feedback to contractors. I basically just hit start recording. Let me make sure I got this. You hit start recording, you have a conversation. I guess I should have been talking this entire time after I hit start recording, because what's going to happen is after this is done, it's going to ask me, do you want to save? Hit stop recording. It's going to save the raw file to your computer automatically. What's going to happen is you hit yes, it auto pushes into TimeBolt. Now all this auto pushes into TimeBolt. You could do nothing. Okay. You could absolutely do nothing and just be confident that like, okay, it just saved 20% of a timeline. If it's to like a customer or something like that, you could run a check. What happens is faster than it took me to record live. I always throw turbo mode on anything unscripted, and certainly anything that goes to Quinston. I'll put this on like 1.2 or something like that. It just gets the point across. Check this out. For subscribers of monthly and annual subscribers only, you can hit export and free. Export and upload to an unlisted link. I click that. You see all the processing that's happening down here. It's uploading to an unlisted link. Boom. That is super fast. I've got a link to an unlisted video. I can simply click it. You hit start recording. You have a conversation. I guess I should have been. Now I've got a shareable link that I can send. If you just copy that link, okay, you can drop it into a text message and it comes up with a GIF preview. If you want to share it inside of an email, if you've got an email blast, you can put it in on its quick video message. Like, not only do you have this super fast way to share watchable video, but you have all the tools you need to get them to actually click on it as well. That works in Slack. It works in LinkedIn. It works on email, and it works on Messenger. We really provided a quick video communications tool for just like everyday use.
Nice. And when you export, like you just straight up export a video, it's good for like every platform, right? Like LinkedIn, Instagram, you can use it just plain straight up export, right?
If you just want to just straight up export, you just hit export video and boom, it'll output that single video.
It's perfect. That's great. Thanks so much.
You bet. Is there any additional questions that I might be able to ask or answer?
Is there any support that during my expertise on it and working on it, practicing on it, that I can send you an email or I don't know?
You just got to dig in, man. The best support that you can get, okay, besides joining us on live office hours like you're doing, is go to our Facebook page, our YouTube page.
Run your automations, save your work. Click this.
Here, I'll go ahead and post it. I'll just go ahead and share this inside chat. But this right here is basically me saying everything that I'm saying right now, but faster. This will take you through everything that you need to know to just get off the ground and like understand like how to save a file, not save a file, like what a JSON is, things you need to look out for. If you ever get into a spot where like you got out of sync and maybe because you got all these workflows, right? You're going to be recording in different ways for some of these workflows. You just got to make sure they get set up right and how it's recorded. Variable frame rate files will sometimes like get out of sync. And like, if you're recording off your phone and it's a long video, it might record variable frame rate. It like the playhead kind of gets stuck or it goes out of sync. What you want to do is encapsulated everything into a button. Okay. And this is, you hit File Doctor. See this little thing right here? Hit File Doctor. Damn, it was fast. And what it does is it goes in and checks for if there's any variable frame rates. I don't have any. I'd have to.
What is the shortest workflow that you suggest for beginners or for getting quite well content?
I've been explaining it. There's no, you just got to do it, dude. You know what I'm saying?
No, let's say if it's automatically already set up to the right numbers of cutting it. If I'm uploading a normal video, studio video, whatever, will it give me a good quality of content at the end without playing so much around?
You determine what you want to cut or keep. It's the good news is that there's no faster editor on planet Earth. Like I'm not selling you snake oil. Like if I was a competitor, like if I was a Descript competitor, I would use time. Like otherwise I would be going 2 to 3 times slower than I need to.
And I agree. I was using, what was I using before? Instagram, just the reels, like in the program, trying to cut. It was nightmare. I've used TikTok, nightmare, before I used an external program, and it's worth it, the premium or whatever the subscription. And I made 2 videos, and my second one's already incrementally better. But ultimately, your content's your responsibility, not theirs, right?
Yes.
What TimeBolt's going to do for you is TimeBolt's job is to give you the most optimal cuts based on the audio in your video. If you have studio quality sound, the cuts are going to be super accurate. Your cuts are not going to have an issue. The question you're asking, whether the content is good or automatic, that depends on which cuts you want to keep and which cuts you want to remove. Whether the delivery of your cut was correct or incorrect, that depends on your understanding of what the content you want to make, right? But TimeBolt is not going to make the video for you. It's not going to add the transitions, or it's going to give you the cuts. And then you can decide whether you want to keep the cuts or remove them. TimeBolt gives you the tools to do that. And then, as Doug explained, you can take those cuts, put them into CapCut, add captions, and then produce the final result. As long as you have studio audio, the cuts that it creates are going to be very accurate, even on the default setting.
Could you happen to just explain to us your story about how you arrived at TimeBolt? Like you said you went through a couple other editing software. What were your expectations with the other software? How didn't it meet that?
It was just time. It was literally time. I hated social media. I didn't want to do it. And then my mentor said, you got to get there. I said, I'm good in person. She said, no, you're missing a large market. Then I went on YouTube and I saw a girl use your program. She showed me how to use it along with it. I was looking on how to do LinkedIn videos,
Vendi Steinberger.
Yeah. And then I saw her and she watched her. I went and I immediately bought both the programs she used. It was a really good video and sold me right away. And then I used it and I was like, that's good. It's a good program. I was honestly, please don't raise your prices right now because I'm a baby founder, but it's a very good value proposition for, I don't know why people wouldn't, cheap, I guess, or stupid.
Yeah. Well, what we find out is a lot of people are just expecting, they go in and they'll today, in 2019, before AI, they would be like, how do I remove silences automatically? And they would find TimeBolt right away. But today they're like, how do I get AI to do it for me? Because we're to just ask how AI can do all the tedious work. And they end up stopping there and not understanding that there's a gold pot beyond this AI that's guessing, and you're going back and fixing things. And that's been our marketing challenge, is how do we let people know, don't stop at AI, because there's
and everybody's using AI. It's boring. That's why I had to move to video, because I'm a writer, but then all of a sudden everyone's using AI and there's just so much copy content. And I'm I'm AI partnership and not AI take over my brain and do all my work for me. You lose your own voice. It's a good blend between the two. I need to still do business development, and I need to have a life, and I need to go outside. This is a good way. It's a happy medium for me. And I just made a video I'm going to post. It took me, I want to say 30 minutes to film it, edit it with your software, put it with the background that I want, brand it, and do captions with the right software.
Beautiful.
The only thing that would be better, I think, is maybe if it was interfaced. Obviously there's no one-stop shop though, I think, and that's the only thing is you have to just find your own you have to find your own programs that work for you. I think it's the same Apple or Samsung or Microsoft or PC or Microsoft or Mac.
Are you talking about interface between TimeBolt and CapCut, or? I'm
using, what did I use? Munch, and I use Canva. I use I like the Canva aesthetic, but I like the Munch captions. I'm doing a 3-step before I do it, but it's still look at 10 minutes per thing. That's pretty good.
You're cut in 10 minutes, captions 10 minutes, add your effects 10 minutes, and you're
uploading it. And that's only video too. I'm just going to do one every day and see if I get every day, just practice anything, right? And you said, play around with it and I'll get better. We'll see.
Excellent. Well, we wish you luck on that journey. Thank you for joining us today. If you get in more depth, is this going on YouTube or? I'm
still learning how to diversify my strategy, but I like the YouTube shorts, the old school YouTube, not really my jam, but the shorts I think could be cool. And I think with this whole TikTok dark, I think there's gonna be more. and new platforms too. Who knows where I'll be.
Are you recording your coaching conversations with clients?
Right now, I'm just doing some kind of like, I'm just having fun with it. I get a foundation. I'm doing like,
Nice.
okay, let's talk about the news. Let's talk about some things that like I'm learning as a baby founder, that young people or whoever wants to be an entrepreneur can see like what goes through your head. Like, what does it take? Because I think it's we always see like the Hormozy once they're established and they talk about how hard it was, but you don't always get to see the baby version. And I want to see that of myself, I guess. It's almost like a diary for myself, video diary.
Nice. And what's your channel say?
Well, right now it's just my business. So Cheap People Strategy. LinkedIn is like my primary. I'm trying to grow that like market, I guess. More business.
On LinkedIn. I'll follow you and follow some of your content. Be happy
Yeah,
to.
you can be like, oh, she could use that checker today.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
Cool.
I'm like, I guess it wasn't that cheap.
Actually, I just got me just like, I'm like 1 minute 20 video. Who cares? They won't even remember.
Oh, 100%. Anything under 10 minutes. That's what's nice. It's just a la carte that you can kind of throw this through. And I'll definitely have a lot of ums in my quick videos to Quinston, but it's much nicer than writing 5-paragraph emails and putting in screenshots.
Oh, yeah.
Ours, quite frankly, you have to schedule live Zoom. There's just instances where a video makes sense. Not in all instances. It's not going to be faster than typing a single line or two in an email. But it is a lot better than having to schedule a Zoom, getting on Zoom, taking 15 minutes when it could have taken you 5 minutes and somebody else 3 to watch it.
It's a cool, different medium. A lot of people are visual like myself. I think it'll be good practice for me. It also makes me scared right now, videos. So I'm like, more.
Well, jumped in it and you're landed at the right place, if I do say so. Though.
Thank you. Okay, I'll see you on LinkedIn.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay,
All right,
see
take
ya.
care.
Thanks for choosing TimeBolt. Gabriel, you bet. Did we answer your question with the video? Did I post that video link for you?
No.
Here.
You can also go to help.timebolt.io. There is a section on that page. It's called Getting Started. I've put the link in the chat, help.timebolt.io.
Okay.
There's a description if you think the video is too fast, you can read the description, the content on the website, and then that's the video. And then there are lots of other, like these live office hours, they're recorded. If you want to check a previous live office hour where the same steps are explained, you can even watch those. The YouTube channel and the help.timebolt.io, these two websites are basically our main resource for learning about how to use TimeBolt and what are the tricks and tips you can use in your workflow.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Gabriel.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Well, that's it for TimeBolt Office Hours on January 16th. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, the notification bell when we go live. And we're out of time. Thank you. Thank you, Quinston.
Thank you.